So, you're looking for the right dog trainer here in Rock Hill, South Carolina? You are absolutely in the right place. The whole idea here is to give you everything you need to feel really good and totally confident about the choice you make for you and your pup. To make it all super clear, we're going to break this down into 5 key parts. We'll start with why a local trainer's knowledge is so valuable, then we'll look at the different training philosophies out there. After that, we'll get into the practical stuff like what certifications mean and how much it all costs. We'll also touch on some local rules, and then wrap it all up with a checklist you can use when you interview trainers. Okay, let's jump right in with our first topic, training for life as we know it here in Rock Hill. You'll quickly see that finding a trainer who really gets our area can be a massive plus for you and your dog. And this is where that local knowledge really shines. I mean, think about it. A great local trainer knows the difference between a quiet neighborhood street and the absolute buzz of activity around Manchester Meadows Park on a weekend. They can prep your dog for those peaceful walks along the Catawba River Greenway, even with other dogs passing by, or help them stay relaxed during a busy downtown event. It's all about learning skills for the real world, our real world. So, how exactly do trainers get your dog ready for those real-life situations? Well, that brings us to our next big topic, picking a training philosophy. Getting a handle on the different approaches will really help you find what clicks for your dog's unique personality and what you want to achieve. Today, the foundation of almost all modern, effective dog training is positive reinforcement. What that really means is, instead of focusing on correcting what a dog does wrong, the trainer focuses on rewarding the good stuff, the behaviors you want to see more of. Not only is this method way more humane, but it's also been proven to create real, lasting change. And maybe just as important, it builds this incredible bond of trust between you and your dog. So, how is that training actually delivered? You've usually got 2 main options to think about, group classes or private sessions. Group classes, they're fantastic for practicing around other dogs and people, real-life distractions. And they're typically easier on the wallet. Private sessions, on the other hand, are totally customized just for you and your dog. They're perfect for things like puppy training or if you need to work on specific issues like fearfulness or reactivity, right where it happens, usually in your own home. All right, let's get into 2 really practical things. What all those professional certifications actually mean, and what you can expect to pay for training right here in our area. This should help you figure out what to look for and what to budget. You're going to see a bunch of acronyms after a trainer's name, and they're not just random letters. They really show a commitment to professional standards. They mean that trainer has passed some tough exams and is dedicated to keeping up with their education on humane, science-backed methods. For example, something like CPDT-KA is a great sign for general manners and obedience. But if you're dealing with more complex stuff, like serious anxiety or aggression, a certification like CBCC-KA tells you that trainer has a much deeper level of expertise in behavior. And of course, what can you expect to invest? This table gives you a pretty good idea of the typical costs for different training services in Rock Hill and the greater York County area. You can see a multi-week group class might be somewhere between $140 and $280, while a single private lesson is often in that $100 to $175 range. It just gives you a solid baseline to start with so you can budget for what you need. Being a great dog owner in Rock Hill also means knowing the local rules of the road, and of course, knowing the best spots to go practice all those awesome new skills your dog is learning. Here are the top 3 things to keep in mind. First off, Rock Hill has a leash law. It's pretty simple. Unless you're in an official, designated dog park, your dog needs to be on a leash. Second, keeping your dog's rabies vaccination up to date isn't just a good idea. It's actually required by state law. And third, just being a good neighbor. Excessive barking can be considered a nuisance, and that's definitely something a good trainer can help you with. Now, let's talk about the fun part. Where can you put all this training into practice? For working on off-leash skills like recall, the fenced-in areas at Cherry Park or Fountain Park Dog Park are perfect because they give you a safe, controlled space. And for mastering that loose-leash walk, the long, straight trails at the Catawba River Greenway are amazing for practicing a heel with distractions like joggers and bikes whizzing by. And of course, Manchester Meadows has wonderful trails for practicing those good public manners. Okay, we have covered a lot. Philosophies, costs, local rules. So now let's pull it all together for the final and probably most important step, what to do when you actually meet a potential trainer face-to-face. So you've done all your research, you've got a consultation scheduled. What do you actually need to ask to make sure this is the right person for you and your dog? Let's turn all this information into a super practical checklist. Here are 6 essential questions that will guide your conversation. You'll want to confirm they use positive methods, like we talked about, and ask about their credentials. But pay close attention to number 3. Asking how they'll customize a plan specifically for your dog and your lifestyle helps make sure you're not just getting some cookie cutter program. It's also really smart to ask how they measure progress, so you have clear goals and you know what success will look like. And of course, make sure you understand all the costs up front and see if they offer an evaluation just to make sure everyone clicks before you commit. Because that's really what this all comes down to. Choosing the right trainer is that first big step toward a happier, more confident dog, and honestly, a less stressed you. A well-trained companion just opens up your world to so many more confident adventures together. Whether that's hitting the trails, visiting a local cafe, or just relaxing peacefully in your own front yard. Happy training!